Hello and welcome to our conference preview webinar series. Today's webinar will focus on STEAM and social and emotional learning skills. My name is Leslie Gabe-Swanston. I'm the Director of Program and Systems Quality at the National Summer Learning Association. Thank you for joining us for this webinar preview series we'll be hosting leading up to our annual conference in Kansas City in November. Before we get started, here's an overview of our webinar. For those of you who are new, I'll share a little bit about the work that we do here at NSLA and the Summer Changes Everything Conference. I'm joined today by Kendra Watkins, School Year Program and South Bay Regional Manager of Camp EDMO. She's going to share a preview of her conference workshop that will feature strategies to plan and implement STEAM programs that support the development of the whole child through inclusion of social and emotional learning. Then we'll have some time to look at some of the upcoming activities and events from our conference. The National Summer Learning Association is the only national nonprofit exclusively focused on closing the achievement gap through high-quality summer learning for all children and youth. Our work centers on three strategic priorities: recognizing and disseminating what works in summer learning, offering expertise and support for programs and communities to strengthen and expand summer learning opportunities, convening leaders and advocating for summer learning as a solution for equity and excellence in education. Our vision is that all children and youth will have access to high-quality summer learning experiences to help them succeed in college, career, and life. Core to our work is the recognition that high-quality summer learning works. High-quality summer learning programs have been shown to improve reading and math skills, school attachment, motivation, and relationships with adults and peers. One of the ways we help recognize and disseminate best practices in summer learning and convene leaders in the field is through our annual national conference. This year we will be in Kansas City, Missouri, November 12th to the 14th. This year's keynote speaker is Hill Harper, an award-winning actor, author, and founder of the Manifest Your Destiny Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to helping underserved youth to succeed through education, mentorship, and grant programs. You won't want to miss this great lineup of workshops and speakers. I'm happy to be joined today by Kendra Watkins. Kendra has worked for Camp EDMO, a San Francisco-based educational nonprofit, for the past 6 years in various roles and is currently a regional manager as well as the school year programs manager for the company. She's passionate about bridging SEL and STEAM programming to promote a whole child development approach to education and out-of-school learning. Kendra has spent the last 2 years working with her colleagues to develop and present professional development workshops around California. Kendra?
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Leslie. So I'm going to start by telling you guys a little bit about what we've been doing at Camp EDMO and talk a little bit about what we'll be doing in our workshop. So this is our 15th year as a company in Camp EDMO. We started as a very small nonprofit in 2004 in San Francisco, and we've slowly expanded to the entire Bay Area as well as Sacramento. We are hugely focused on summer learning loss and helping to decrease summer learning loss by actively engaging students throughout the summer in STEAM. And in about the last 10 years, we've slowly started building in social emotional learning into all of our activities and STEAM-based programming to help really focus on all aspects of child development and not just on developing hands-on STEAM activities. So we have been doing work recently with professional development opportunities across California for different organizations, as well as developing our own staff and really looking at how we approach education in a way that really builds authenticity and, as we're going to talk about in our workshop, this STEAM identity. We have 31 camp locations throughout the Bay Area and Sacramento, where we serve roughly around 10,000 kids during the summer, as well as about another 5,000 during our school year. So we are quite large in the community and are really hoping that, or really working towards building communities where STEAM and SEL are a huge focus. So in our workshop, you will be learning about this idea of a STEAM identity, which is really focusing on teaching kids and youth that we work with that they can be a STEAM participant. They are engineers, they are scientists, they are mathematicians or artists. That's what they are. So we do that through a couple different ways. And in this workshop, you'll learn our research behind the practices that we use, as well as understanding how integrating different elements of curriculum development, feedback, and coaching cycles with staff can help to support these STEAM identity building with youth. Within this, we also look at how social emotional learning plays a large role in developing a STEAM identity, the way that it really leads to authenticity. So without social emotional integration, it really becomes kind of surface level, and the kids are not as internalizing the fact that they are these things. They are makers, they are scientists, they are coders, however you want, whatever element your program addresses. So we'll look at that, as well as integrations across cross-cutting ideas and how to connect these not just to our summer learning, but also concepts and ideas that students are learning in the school day as well. So we always like to make sure that what we're doing is still aligning with kind of a continuum of education throughout all aspects. So in this activity, we will have, some research and data and information, but we'll also have hands-on activities that will lead you through, and we'll get really in depth with asking questions and actually participating in some of these activities we do with the students to get an understanding of how they can be there to support the kind of engineering design process and being a maker. So we're going to really focus on how to include STEAM with maker ideas, as well as social emotional learning. By the end of the workshop, what we will have participants walking away with is the idea on how they can actually take things they're already doing, identify concepts within them, and make small adjustments. So it's not a whole program overhaul, but like how you can make small little adjustments to existing programs to really develop this STEAM identity with students, as well as getting authentic social emotional learning opportunities for them as well. And you will walk away with this with an actual tool that will help you plan and implement the activities and ideas in your programs.
Great, thank you, Kendra. So I'm really excited to see your workshop. What populations of summer learning staff would you say this workshop is geared toward?
I would say this workshop is really geared towards kind of two different levels. I would say mostly frontline staff, so people who are actually out there delivering the lessons and the activities to the children, because they're the ones hands-on with them, but also program coordinators, directors, like anybody overseeing the staff as well, because we will go into how incorporating coaching strategies and feedback strategies for staff will also help to support this STEAM identity building with youth.
And what kind of things can participants expect to leave your workshop with? Like, I know you mentioned a tool.
Yes, so our participants should expect to leave with, we will have like a printed tool that they will leave with that shows exactly the steps to go through to kind of go through each part of our transforming maybe a more conceptual concept or lesson or activity into a more hands-on one. So they'll leave with that tool that they can then apply to any lessons or any concepts they want to incorporate with kids in the future. They'll also leave this activity with a full activity plan for something they can go back and immediately implement or put in. So we'll spend some time working with other participants in the program to actually develop one full activity that participants can take back with them.
Okay, and what would people say would be some of the main outcomes of the workshop?
So some of the main outcomes, I would say, beyond the actual physical things that the participants will be leaving with, is an understanding of the kind of circular structure that we use at our program and how it's implemented in everything we do. Really comes full circle back to this whole child development approach, whether it be curriculum training, feedback of staff, the coaching we do with our staffs, and even our meetings that we do with our staff. So they're gonna, people will leave with the outcome of like this deeper understanding that in order to really build this STEAM identity and social emotional learning within a program, it really has to be like program-wide, company-wide, community-wide. So understanding kind of a little bit more in depth the ripple effect that it can have.
Great, thanks so much, Kendra. I'm sure everybody's really excited to attend the workshop and the conference, and I hope to see you all in Kendra's session. So before we wrap up, I want to share a little bit more about some of the upcoming conference and highlight some of the other workshops that you might want to attend in addition to Kendra's. Service learning and mindfulness and SEL as a tool for student success. But why do I have to learn? What does that have to do with me? Does that sound familiar? Join us for this hands-on session to explore 5 practices to engage youth in their own development and how they become positive contributors to society. We'll provide activities that integrate mindfulness, community, digital and social media awareness, and service learning. Empowering students through design thinking. Design for Change is a global movement that uses a 4-step design process: feel, imagine, do, share, to empower students to transform their communities. Through DFC, students build 21st century skills, social and emotional skills, and character. This hands-on workshop includes tools and resources and planning time for how you might implement DFC at your school. Listen to Me. Teen-written stories that support social and emotional learning. This interactive workshop will demonstrate effective learning approaches and share practical strategies for strengthening the SEL and literacy skills of young people using a story-based approach, which harnesses true stories written by teens from Youth Communications award-winning writing program. Global Education, Connecting Classrooms Across Cultures. For 16 years, Wareham Public Schools in Massachusetts has had a vibrant global education program with sister schools in 5 continents. Presenters will lead participants through engaging activities to increase, improve, and expand opportunities to enhance intercultural competencies of students in summer programming and highlight activities that foster global competency. Our registration is open right now. If you have been registered for our conference yet, you can use the discount code WEBINAR, WEBINAR, to get a $50 discount on your registration. Our pre-conference training institution is also open for registration. This year we'll be having a first-timers meet and greet on Monday afternoon. You can come to this to meet your fellow first-timers and learn tips on how to get the most out of the conference. And our popular Youth Spark session this year will be featuring Kansas City youth audiences, young audiences, and they will be giving some performances that you won't want to miss. There are more conference preview webinars to come. You can find a list of all the conference preview webinars along with links to register on our conference page here. Webinar recordings will also be available here afterwards. And finally, follow us on social media for the latest updates and announcements. Thank you again for joining us. Here's our contact information if you have any questions for me or for Kendra. And we hope to see you in November in Kansas City. Thank you.